In this video, we will be using Statcrunch and Excel in order to calculate binomial probability. So our first problem is, if the probability of winning a game is 3/5, then the probability of winning exactly 3 games out of 4 played is. So our keyword in this problem is exactly. We have 4 games and we want to know the probability of 3 out of those 4 we actually win. So in Statcrunch, we will go to Stat, Calculators, and then Binomial. And there are 2 different screens we have. We have the standard view and then you have the between view. So if you're trying to find the probability of a value being between 2 numbers, you would use this tab, or just less than, greater than, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, we use the first tab. So N is our sample size. We have a total of 4 games that we're going to play. P is our probability of success. Our probability of winning is 3/5. And you can also enter this as a decimal. And now we want exactly 3 games. So we use the equal sign and 3. Compute. Probability of winning exactly 3 games, about 34.56%. On the right we have Microsoft Excel, and we can type an equal sign to let Excel know that we're about to perform a function, and we start typing binomial, and here we can use binomial.dist. You can also use this one as well. So when we double click on this option, it gives us what we're supposed to enter into this formula. So number underscore S is our number of trials. We have 4 trials. Or our number of successes. We have 3 successes. Next is our number of trials. We are playing this game 4 times. Probability of S is, what's the probability of a success? So we can do 3/5, or you can change it to a decimal, 0.6. And then cumulative means, do we want to add all these values together, or do you just want the probability of getting 3 successes out of 4? In this case, we want exactly 3, so we do not want the cumulative feature to be turned on. So we're going to type in false. We can close our parentheses and press enter, and as you can see, we get the same exact probability. Our next example, if the probability of winning a game is 3/5, just like the last problem, then the probability of winning less than 3 games out of 4 is what we find. So if we want less than 3 games, that means we're looking for the situation of winning 0 games, or winning 1 game, or winning 2 games. This is strictly less than 3, so you're not including 3. In Statcrunch, N is still 4, probability is still 0.6. Now we want less than 3. That's one option. You could also say less than or equal to 2 as well, and get the same exact probability. So once again, that was less than 3 is an option. You could also put less than or equal to 2, and you get the same exact probability. Just 2 different ways of describing the same situation. In Excel, we start off with the equal sign. We type in the beginning of the binomial. We want binomial.dist. Number of successes, here we want 2 because we want less than 3. And trials, we have 4 trials. Probability of success, 0.6. Cumulative, this time we want true because we wanted to count and add all of these probabilities together. The probability of not winning any games, the probability of winning 1 game, the probability of winning 2 games. Once again, same probability. Third example, if the probability of winning a game is still 3/5, then the probability of winning 3 or more games out of 4. So we're looking for the probability of winning 3 games or the probability of winning 4 games. In Statcrunch, This means we want greater than or equal to 3 because we're looking for 3 or more games out of 4. In Excel, we have a little work to do. So we know that the probability of winning 0, 1, or 2 games was 0.05248. And now we're looking at the opposite. What about winning 3 or 4? And since these values are opposite, we have to think back to complement. These two probabilities are the complements of each other. This one we wanted less than 3 games. This one we want 3 or more. The options and situations that we're looking for are completely opposite of one another. So we're going to use our complement rule. And the way we use complement, we do 1 minus the probability of the original event. So here was the probability of finding 0 wins or 1 or 2, and we want the opposite of that. So 1 minus that value. If we're looking for the probability of finding 2 values between, so let's say our probability is still 3/5, and what if we want winning 2 or 3 games? Here in Statcrunch, we can select between. N is still 4, probability of success is still 0.6. Now we're looking for 2 or 3, and you see we have less than or equal signs, so those options are included. What we would do in Excel is we're going to have to do, in Excel we type in equals, we want binomial.dist.range. So this is going to give us a range of values in between. Trials, we have 4 trials. We are playing a total of 4 games. Probability, 0.6. Our number S is the lower value. So we're looking at winning 2 games or 3 games. So that's our second value. We enter, and we have the same exact probability there. Once again, so binomial.dst false if you want the probability of getting exactly 1 event. Binomial.dst true if you want the probability of finding that number and everything below it. You can always find the complement of an individual event, and if you want the probability between 2 events, binomial.dist.range.